you will be fine. I know you clicked this video after reading the title. Give me only first 5 minutes. I know you clicked it after reading the title, but it is not just a title. It is a story, a complete story. Give me only first 5 minutes, and if you did not like it, leave this. I stood where I am now, in a room that grants you a panoramic view of the grid, a glittering landscape that I, until recently, controlled. The directorate was never interested in money. Our operations were dedicated to an ancestral blood debt. Our founder was wronged by the rival collective, and my life was devoted to regaining that loss. I was in, and it was a holy war for us, fought with strategy, not with petty greed. We had principles, and I wielded it like a blade. About 6 months ago, I started to question the premises. I saw my young operatives and realized I was feeding them to a ghost. The truth hit me. The depth was not a mission, it was a spiritual addiction. We had rejected greed only to embarrass the fear, only to embarrass the far more corrosive obsession with perpetual conflict. Sorry for the fumble. Our pure principle had become a blighted cage. I began moving assets, extracting an intelligence dossier called the silence as insurance against the chaos I was about to unleash. I made the final call to the rival collective, and that was my words. Listen closely. This is not a negotiation. This is the settlement. And they were waiting for a demand. My answer: the debt is paid in full, and the currency is not your destruction, it is our dissolution. I spelled out the final sequence: the network committing suicide. The war stops now, not because you won, but because I refuse to fight the dead any longer. I was committing the greatest betrayal in my organization's history, all in the name of a true final justice. I stepped away from the window, leaving my post, my title, my entire purpose behind. I choose to trade the certain command of that life for ancestral mission. I am profoundly afraid, and because I am afraid, because I am unburdened, I realize that I am, for the first time, finally free. I expected silence. Instead, I found noise, the grating, overwhelming noise of the normal world. The freedom I had claimed was heavier than any command I ever gave. In my old life, every second was accounted for, dedicated to a singular dark purpose. Now, standing on a crowded street corner, deciding only which coffee shop to enter, the sheer lack of consequence was terrifying. My fear was not of Delta or the directorate finding me. It was of realizing that the principal I had betrayed had at least given me structure. I tried to live small. I watched the news, saw the carefully contained chaos of the directorate's final collapse, and felt nothing but hollow relief. I was a ghost, watching a ruin I had built, and then meticulously dismantled. The first sign came not as a threat, but as a courtesy. A single encrypted email arriving in the dead drop account I was creating. No one know. Certainly, I think that no one knows about it. The subject line was simple: 180. My most trusted lieutenant. The quiet, lethal genius was not hunting me. They were challenging me. The directorate was gone, but the power vacuum was filled not by the rival, but by the scattered remnant of our own organization, knowledgeless and desperate. 180 was trying to put it back together, but with a horrifying twist. No ancestral depth, just pure, unprincipled power acquisition. They wasn't fighting for honor, they were fighting for the fun of it. The principle was dead, and in its place, a monster was born. I looked at the intelligence dossier. The silence still looked away. It wasn't just insurance. It was the entire operational roadmap of the network. The weaknesses of every major institution was had quietly controlled. If 180 got their hand on it, they could plunge the city into true anarchy. I had abandoned my post for final justice, but my desertion had only created a new accidental freedom, I realized, was conditional. It was not enough to refuse the fight. I had to erase the chessboard entirely. I had traded the role of the executor for the role of the cleaner. My new principle was simple: absolute annihilation of the network's shadow. I would not build, I would burn everything I knew, ensuring that director's ghost could never rise again. I'm here to tell you this because I have no one to tell, to speak, to say something. If you reached here, if you want to listen the real life events, the true story, step by step by step, do tell me in the comments, or otherwise I'll gonna make the same videos. It is just a way out of my isolation. I am living here for almost 6 months, and hardly 2 or 4 people met me. They are totally random persons, and this platform and other, I choose to fill my empty space. If you like the story, please hit the subscribe button so that I had never ever able to go back to that mind, to that quagmire. Thank you for listening. See you soon.